All right, guys, got some breaking news here for you. Jimmy Kimmel was just indefinitely suspended over a joke he made about Charlie Kirk. So Disney's ABC is pulling Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely after remarks about Charlie Kirk. The move comes as ABC affiliate groups told the network they would be dropping the host. So right off the bat here, let me just say, Kimmel condemned Charlie Kirk's murder during his monologue the day it happened. He condemned it again the next day, but he was pulled for criticizing the way Trump and Maga politicians immediately blamed the left without any evidence, which they did all week long. So the story actually gets darker, though, because not only was he indefinitely suspended, but it looks like Brendan Carr, the FCC commissioner, he was basically forcing them to do it. So a tweet here says, Brendan Carr more or less instructed the ABC affiliates to stop broadcasting Kimmel's show and threatened Disney's ability to broadcast ABC over the air. Quote, Disney needs to see some changes here, but the individual licensed stations that are taking their content, it's time for them to step up and say this. You know, garbage to the extent that that's what comes down the pipe in the future isn't something that we think serves the needs of our local communities. But this sort of status quo is obviously not acceptable where we are. So the head of the FCC threatens Disney and is basically like, you know, hey, maybe you get fined, maybe we pull your license if you continue to allow these liberal comedians to make fun of Trump. That's the other thing. In the same monologue, he made fun of Trump because when Trump was asked about how he's doing after Charlie Kirk was killed, Trump immediately pivoted to, I'm doing okay. And by the way, do you see that our ballroom is under construction? Isn't it looking great? It's going to be incredible. People are saying it's going to be the best ballroom. So this is, let's just call this what it is, guys. This is an all-out assault on free speech and the First Amendment. Now you have the government getting directly involved and saying, we don't like your comedy. We don't like your jokes. We think that was impolite. We think that was unacceptable. Maybe we'll pull your license. Maybe we'll fine you. So here you have the actual government saying what speech is and isn't acceptable. It is actually a First Amendment violation. And again, what you're going to witness is all of the right-wingers who pretended like all they cared about was free speech and the First Amendment and they were anti-cancel culture. Turns out that's a bunch of bullshit. They don't care at all, not even a little bit. And if any of them were principled, they would come out and speak up in favor, in support of Jimmy Kimmel. Because you think it stops here, it doesn't stop here. As soon as they realize they can threaten these stations and the stations will buckle to them, well, they're just going to keep fucking doing it. Because now we have a situation where you have Fox News, Newsmax, and One American News. They're the Republican MAGA propaganda outlets. But then you have a right-wing billionaire buying CBS and putting Barry Weiss, the ultra-Zionist, in charge to control the content. That billionaire is also trying to buy CNN and make them right-wing too. And the remaining outlets, like NBC, ABC, Trump is threatening them and waging lawsuits, right? He just waged a lawsuit against the New York Times, for example. So it's either you fall in line and parrot exactly what the regime wants you to parrot, or we crack down on you and we destroy you. And we take you to court, we launch frivolous lawsuits, we hit you with bogus fines. And so make no mistake about it, guys. Free speech is actually under assault in this country. And it was the president who pretended like he was pro-free speech is the one who's waging the assault. Now, one more thing. So Trump sees how this unfolds. He sees how he got his pound of flesh and they indefinitely suspended Jimmy Kimmel. And then he comes out and says this, great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers, on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President Trump, President DJT. So in other words, oh look, we got this one to buckle and cave to us, cave to our threats, our illegal, unconstitutional threats, our anti-free speech threats. Well now, the few remaining ones, like Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon, well, they haven't bent the knee sufficiently. They're not pro-MAGA enough, and they might make jokes at our expense. So NBC, you better fucking fire them now. And what's the result of this going to be is either eventually NBC will fire them and will indefinitely suspend their shows. Or Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon, certainly Jimmy Fallon will get the message, and he'll be like, okay, no more jokes at the president's expense, because he'll fucking destroy our company if we do it. So all of, network TV is fucking cooked. All of these things are cooked, bro. There's going to be no criticism allowed of King Joffrey here. And, then it begs the question, how much longer until they start coming after, new media outlets? That's the question. Because they're really turning the screws on mainstream media here, and they're turning the screws on ABC, NBC, CBS, all of them. And so, this is exactly what he wanted. And make no mistake about it, guys, it's complete fake outrage. What he said was not bad. What Jimmy Kimmel said was not bad. Jimmy Kimmel condemned the murder every time he talked about the Charlie Kirk thing. And just because in one of these monologues he said, the right is blaming the left even without any evidence, they're pretending like it's offensive and insensitive and unacceptable. And it's like, this is fucking ridiculous. The cancel culture brigade is frothing at the mouth over if you say anything other than complete fawning praise and adoration for Charlie Kirk. You can condemn the murder and also say, I fucking disagree with him. And here's some quotes of his that I don't like. You can do that. Reasonable people know you can do that, but they're not allowing that. They want you to get fired. They want to destroy your life. They want you to get threats. Even if you just fucking quote him directly and put it out there, they want you to get fired, and they're on a fucking cancel culture spree. So there was a girl in Texas who got arrested for mocking Charlie Kirk after his death. Now, you don't have to like that. That's fucking impolite. That's mean. Whatever you want to call it. It's also fucking legal. This is a free country, or at least it was. So this is horrible, man. And the fact that Trump is out there doing his little fucking end zone dance because he got his pound of flesh and the guy who criticizes him got suspended. Fuck ABC for bending the knee. Fuck them. You're never going to be able to give this guy enough. He's always going to come for more. So there you have it. Not good.